Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome back to part 4. So, step number 7, how I created my best month and really made a gear change in terms of my business. We're going back to June 2020. I got really clear about how I could help people in that season and got clear on the specifics. And what I find often is that, especially when I'm looking for support to help me in various things, sometimes there isn't. And I think the thing with people assume that it has to be urgency, like cart being closed. And actually, I know that lots of people don't want to have a launch model in terms of their business, but there has to be a reason to buy and what it's all about in that moment. And I really took into context what was happening in June 2020 when I was thinking about how I was going to become visible. So a really obvious thing was I wasn't planning any in-person events, but I was really thinking about how I could best support people who were at home as well. So lots of the packages that I was doing one-on-one were featuring lots of accountability. Lots of being in not a container. I don't really like that word, but being in an agreement that they would be working with me for 30 days, for example. And within that, having that unlimited access was really, really useful because everybody's schedule was very different at that time. And sometimes if one of the things that they wanted to do was to update their website, they might not get that to me in the evening because that's when they were working after their kids went to bed or whatever it might be. And then I might pick it up first thing in the morning whilst Matt had my kids. Like, it was all of those sorts of things. And I want you to look at your pricing, your packaging, the ways that you are serving people in this time, and make sure that it's suitable. Make sure that it makes sense. And again, so often there have been so many packages, I think, designed with that urgency of you've just got to do it, otherwise you're not serious. And the truth is, sometimes there's just a better time to do things, or there's a better way of doing it. For me, doing those 3-day long intensive moments from 6 a.m. till midnight, they don't really work for me. I really get claustrophobic sitting on a hardback chair, doing all of the stuff. There are different ways that I access that part of my brain. So I want you to take that into consideration. Number 8. I stayed on the train. And the more that I've done this, the more I've realized this is why I've had a 25-year career. Because ultimately I've stayed on the train. Sometimes I've been on the train and I've been so focused about complaining and being impatient. And yes, I'm not saying that I've always been on the train of business and career being like, oh my gosh, this is so fantastic, I'm having an amazing time. Because that is just not true. And there have been seasons and reasons where, yes, technically I've been on the train of progression, but I've been having a good old moan. And it hasn't, there've been times where there's sort of almost no point me being on the train. I should have just got off the train, had a break for a while, and then got back on. But there was something about this June 2020 where I was like, let's go. From the 1st to the 30th, I'm staying on the train. And I'm being in this moment. I'm being in this momentum. And so often I am in conversations with people who will say things like, I tried that. Or I was going to do that, but I didn't. Or life has just got so busy that things haven't progressed. Or I'll get to that next month. The truth of it is you can make the commitment now and say, I am on this train for the next 6 months. Also, giving yourself that capacity, that bandwidth allows that you can not just like go from high and then like fall down. You're just in this consistency. You're in this wiggly line of, okay, I'm in the flow, I'm making progress, off we go. Rather than feeling like you're in, out, shaking it all about. If you want some consistency for the next month, for the next 100 days, I would love to hear from you. There's also an online course of the 100 Club, so you can join that. You can get stuck in. It's brilliant for that accountability, for showing up for yourself every single day. It's really, really powerful. Check it out, and I'll speak to you in part 5, which is the final part. Do subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you then. Bye.